Good afternoon, colleagues. I would like to warmly welcome you to this afternoon's thought-provoking webinar, which is titled Academic Librarians as Strategic Partners in Supporting the University's Research Outcomes. My name is Dina Mashiane, and I will be serving as the facilitator for the session. And colleagues, this is indeed a pleasure to have you join us for this particular engagement. As higher educational institutions continue to evolve to meet the changing needs of students and users, academic librarians are also increasingly moving beyond our traditional roles to become active partners and collaborators within the entire research cycle. And colleagues, there is also a well-known quote that says, the library is the heart of the community. And within our context, one can also say that our academic and higher educational libraries are the heartbeat of the institutions that we continue to serve on a daily basis. And these are also spaces that allow us as librarians to continue to drive change, to support teaching, learning, innovation, and also research. And within this landscape, as librarians, we also continue to play a critical role in supporting the university's research agenda through various research support services, research visibility, bibliometric support, and also open scholarship initiatives. Colleagues, without wasting more time, we have three speakers that are part of this session. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we proceed. Please ensure that your mics are muted, unless if you would like to ask questions when that opportunity comes. And you are also encouraged, colleagues, to engage through the chat platform. And we will also allow time for question and answers once all the speakers have engaged with us. And also note that the session is currently being recorded, and all the participants that have registered will also get the recording after the session. To start off, colleagues, our first speaker, we have Mr. Songezo Mpikashe. Mr. Mpikashe is an emerging academic and a research support professional with a strong interest in academic librarianship, knowledge management, and digital scholarship. His work and academic pursuits focus on enhancing research visibility, scholarly communication, and open scholarship within higher educational institutions. Mr. Mpikashe has also developed experience in research support services, researcher profiling, and the promotion of scholarly impact. His academic interests include the role of artificial intelligence in society, particularly through his research topic, which is AI as a friend or enemy of progress. He is also passionate about improving knowledge access and digital scholarship practices and institutional research. Colleagues, without wasting any more time, I'd like to invite Mr. Mpikashe to take us through his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Osmashine. Greetings, colleagues. I'm going to be sharing my screen, and also just to highlight the fact that within the same presentation, we will be presenting with Osistwaita, and then after we finish our first part of presentation, then Mr. Ramabina will take over. So allow me to just quickly share the screen, and then from there we can be able to take you through what we've prepared for you for today. Just with a show of thumbs, confirm if you can see my screen.
It's visible.
Wonderful. We actually tried to make sure that the presentations, or we sort of had sub-themes within those within the main topic, due to the fact that this presentation, it's more of an experiential insights that we reflect, that might not be necessarily saying that we're concluding that these services that we'll be presenting today, of the deep literature review or scoping review that has been done. So we encourage our community, our constituency, to sort of contribute the thoughts, ask questions, of course, at the end of the presentations, and share how your institution supports researchers. That room is open. Also, we highlighted that, we're highlighting the fact that your insights might also serve as a gap or a niche area within the institutions that we're working for. So let me not waste any further time. It's highlighted on the screen that I will be pioneering the transformation or transforming academic institutions through online identity, and management and impact assessment. So you can see the details there for my ORCID profile. I would really encourage all the librarians, or in fact, even all the academics, to have or to open their ORCID profiles. This helps a lot. Without wasting any further time, colleagues, allow me to start or begin by stating that the librarianship, as highlighted by Osma Shianen, has revolved a lot. We are no longer in the olden days of traditional way of doing things. Instead, the librarianship, we were mainly associated with managing books, physical collections. However, in today's digital research, in digital world or in digital way, we are actually monitoring as well as involved deeply in a research environment, where we have become central to supporting online identity, management, scholarly communication, and research impact assessment. So this presentation aims or explores how librarians can help or does help researchers improve their online visibility, citation impact, and institutional recognition through strategic support systems as well as research visibility services. So the plan I wanted to first take you through or remind you of the way that we were doing in the olden days. So in the past, librarians focused mainly on issuing books, managing physical library spaces, and maintaining localized collection. Their role, or our role, was often reactive instead of responding to the user request. Then today's roles or today's librarianship is, however, increasing proactive participants within the research lifecycle. We provide specialized support for online researcher profiling, scholarly communication, bibliometric analysis, and impact tracking. So it's more of the distinction between the way we were doing things in the olden days, or the way they were doing things in the or olden century. I don't know whether is there any kind of an English that says so. So the shift, or this shift, demonstrate that librarianship or librarians are no longer only custodians of information, but we are active contributors to institutional research success. So what I'm trying to explain by that, I'm saying that we're no longer waiting for the users to come to us. Instead, we are really going to their spaces and we engage with the researchers within their spaces. So as I just highlighted that this presentation will be co-presented, I want you to also hear the voice of Ms. Twaita, where she will chip in and tell us about the beginning of the research. How we as librarians enter from the beginning of the research life cycle as within the spaces of the research impact. Over to you, Twaita.
Thank you, Mr. Mpikashe, and good afternoon, colleagues. What I'll be touching on, as Mr. Mpikashe has said, is what's happening at the beginning of the research, the planning stage, actually. This may seem like traditional roles, but then a research is not complete without these parts. At the beginning of the research, we as librarians offer systematic review support, in terms of systematic planning and development of such strategies. We know the databases, we are skilled in that, we know how to search for information. So we help researchers, they identify databases suitable for their research and also offer training on that. And also we offer training to the faculty or one-on-one via consultations, or in group if it's a collaboration, maybe via, collaboration between researchers. But then it does not only end there. We also, before data collection, because as you know, the right time to plan for how you're going to use your data or handle your data throughout your research process as a researcher is at the beginning. So that's where we also fit in as offering data management planning support. And also we also provide institutions. Some institutions do have also, I don't want to say all institutions have the data management planning tools. Some institutions do have the data management planning tools, and they offer support in terms of training on how to use those tools to help their researchers answer the questions required in the data management planning tools. This helps meeting the funder requirements such as NRF and other international funders who require researchers to make the research that has been funded by public funds, so to speak, to be publicly available, to go back to the community in a way to benefit the community through its impact. So that's where we fit in that part. Next slide, Mr. Mikoshe.
Yes.
And also during the research, we don't only end at the beginning. During the research, we actively conduct plagiarism awareness, training on responsible use of AI tools, various tools there's a lot we can name, Notebook LM, Elicit, and other tools even for data. And then we also provide training on the citation management. There are various citation management tools, and some institutions subscribe to specific citation management tools such as EndNote, and then the institution or librarians in this case offer more of that specific training on that tool that they subscribe to. And then all of this contributes to the ethical scholarship and the integrity of the research, which protects the integrity of the research of the institution, basically. And then also we take part in the data curation, but not only that part, the actual research data management, the active management of the data throughout the research process. For researchers, even if they are collaborating, because it will be stored centrally, they can be able to access that. Researchers also help in organizing and also guidance on copyright licensing. Is this data even now at the end going to be made publicly available, or it's going to be closed, or is there any embargo period? And also librarians or libraries provide secure storage and preservation for this data to allow for reusability and also to allow for validation, maybe by peer reviewers and so on. So this shows that we are increasingly becoming partners in the research life cycle. Over to you, Mr. Mpikashe, again.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Ms. Treta. Speaking of being partners within the research plan or research life cycle, research funders or funder mandates demand measurable impact, where the 2020, 2022, if not 2020, yes, NRF strategic plan, it states that research funders are increasingly expecting institutions and researchers to demonstrate measurable research impact, where the funders are no longer sufficient. They claiming that it's no longer only the what do you call it? It's no longer the research alone that is sufficient towards receiving this funding. We are also we also saying that producing quality research alone is no longer sufficient. That's the perspective of the funder. Institutions must ensure that research outputs are visible, accessible, and strategically showcased online. That means that it's the importance of having this social impact or societal impact, as well as economic impact. So this particularly important because funding bodies such as National Research Foundation require evidence of societal impact. So meaning that with your research, with your performing the research alone is no longer sufficient within the funders, but they are also wanting to know what is the impact of this research that you're producing, as well as they want the evidence of this impact and the citation performance collaboration as well as the public accessibility. What is it that you are solving as a societal impact within this research? So academic libraries therefore play an essential role in helping researchers comply with these mandates by improving discoverability and visibility across digital platforms. That's where we enter as the librarians. So moving forward to architecting the research visibility ecosystem, this slide presents the broader ecosystem that supports research visibility. Research visibility is not achieved through a single platform or a service. Instead, it involves multiple interconnected, as you can see, this slide, how it's actually planned, such as institutional repositories, researcher profiling systems, global impact platforms, and library marketing channels. Librarians serve as the coordinators within the ecosystems. They assist the researchers in managing profiles on platforms such as ORCID, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, as well as institutional repositories. By integrating these systems effectively, librarians help ensure that research outputs become more discoverability, accessibility, and impactful globally. So what we're trying to say is the more our researchers produce research, the more we as librarians help and guide our researchers to ensure that the research itself is publicly available or accessible, as well as our researchers themselves. They are their profiles are well or publicly accessible and findable, then it's easy or not easy per se, but there are high chances of receiving funding, there are high chances of collaborating. But the purpose of the research is not only to solve a societal impact, but also to integrate with other researchers or other scholars to speak on to do deeper research around the topic that these scholars are talking about. So hence we are saying that we are assisting and also guiding our researchers to ensure that their research itself is a publicly available, as well as their profiles are well known. Moving forward to the pillars of inquiry on the study. This study is structured around four major research objectives, which together examine how librarians contribute to improving research visibility. Few sources, literature review were consulted to investigate current trends because as a librarian, you have to try by all means to stay up with the trends. So the challenges as well as the best practices within the academic libraries. These four pillars focuses on curating unified online identities for researchers, positioning librarians or libraries as collaborative consultation centers, diagnosing challenges affecting visibility support, designing strategic pathways for improving. Together, these objectives provide a comprehensive understanding of the librarian's evolving role in research visibility. We'll be starting with the first objective, where we are saying by curating a unified online identity, this is where the librarians enter. Many researchers have fragment profiles, scattered publications, and inconsistent online representation or representatives across academic platforms. We as librarians, we address this challenge through workshops, training sessions, and one-on-one consultations. We also guide researchers in creating consistent profiling or profiles. We also help and guide our researchers by linking their publications correctly and improving discoverability. This support is especially important for early career researchers transitioning from postgraduate study to independent researcher careers. Librarians or we as librarians help bridge mentorship gaps by providing structured guidance as well as professional support. So as we all know that bridging the gap between a postgraduate as well as the scholar or the researcher is not an easy journey. So we as librarians support our researchers through making sure that their profiles, they are up to standard, as well as the sources or the resources that are well established, if I can put it that way, we guide our researchers to those resources so that they can be able to sort of find their way or find themselves within the transitioning of from being a postgraduate to a researcher. Moving forward, where we say we're navigating bibliometrics as well as performance indicators. This objective examines the librarian's role in supporting researchers with bibliometric and research performance. How are we doing that? Researchers are increasingly evaluated using measures such as the high index, as well as citation count or citation count, yes, as well as citation velocity and journal impact factors. How are we as librarians enter, or how do we join the gospel? We as librarians, we assist the researchers in understanding these metrics and using them strategically. We also guide researchers in selecting reputable journals, which is the situation where we are helping our researchers to avoid predatory journals. We also guide and assist our researchers to publish in good reputation journals or good journals with a good reputation, where we'll be, if we're talking about Scopus, we'll be saying that they must look at the journals of high impact factor, as well as those journals that have high quartile rankings. So we guide our researchers in making sure that those publication opportunities or those journals are selected with the researchers. Additionally, we help researchers comply with funder and publisher requirements by recommending appropriate research tools, repositories, as well as visibility platforms. So we are not just sitting there and looking at our researchers going to transitioning from publishing as well, transitioning from postgraduate to publishing, but we do assist in ensuring that the resources are provided, or we guide our researchers to ensure that they go or they find the good resources to make sure that the publications or the transition per se is not as difficult as it should be if we were not there as strategic partners. Moving to objective number 2, where we'll say that the slide highlights the library's role as a collaborative consultation center. As you can say, demonstrated there on the first part of the slide, where we say we've noted that our researchers will be sitting in their offices, especially the early career researchers, sitting in their offices, struggling in knowing which platforms or which tools, which resources, like, what is it that I need to do? I do know how to write, but after writing, what do I know? What do I do? But before writing as well, where do I get resources that quite are mentioned in terms of referencing and all those? So we bridge that gap and say many researchers experience isolation. So we've noted that, as well as particularly when dealing with bibliometrics and data management and publishing challenges. Look, we understand. I'm not trying to, not limited to, or let me put it that way. We understand these metrics or bibliometric metrics tools more than one will say, and they compared to researchers, if I can put it that way. Then if you will just draw a stats, or you'll just send a researcher to a tool and say, go to Scopus, then you'll find that researchers are sort of struggling and sort of finding it difficult to understand, what do I need to do on Scopus? What do I need to do on Web of Science? How do I navigate within those sources? So we as librarians or libraries do address these mentorship gaps by providing structured guidance, consultations, as well as ongoing support. So the study investigates how researchers perceives librarians' contribution in supporting the academic visibility and research. So you can see that we bridge the gap within the lack of mentorship, as well as we move forward to a part where now we as librarians provide as structured as guidance, as well as the expertise in terms of finding the best sources, finding best journals, finding the best tools to work with. For librarians, we provide effective support. Which they have to understand the real challenges researchers face daily and adopt service accordingly. So meaning that we have, before we can even claim that we understand the researchers' challenges or we understand the researchers' problems, we need to not only assume as the librarians in terms of what resources do researchers need, but we need to play a huge role in interacting with those researchers. Go to those seminars, go to the inductions as well as those postgraduate inductions, go to the researcher inductions, understand the faculties, go to those faculties, understand the needs, try to check what is the gap, what is the need, what are the needs within the research life cycle or within the research spectrum, if I can put it that way. So examining how scholars perceive the librarian's role is to ensure that we listen to the researchers rather than just providing what we assume that it should be fine for the researchers or what should be the tools that should be fine. For example, I'll make a quick example. There's a tool or there's a AI tool that is provided by, I think it's Scopus, if not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's called LibSpace. So tools like that are introduced by publishers, we do send them to researchers, ask for their interaction within the tools or with the tools, ask for their participation within the tools. Then also try to get a feedback from them and say, what is it? Is it a right tool for the thing for the research that for the researchers that we're providing the tools for? So those kind of engagements we do as academic libraries. Moving forward to objective number 3, where we have the diagonized friction or challenges points to research visibility. These barriers or this objective focuses on identifying barriers that limit effective research visibility, which these barriers include technology challenges. I mean, we all know that technology is sort of growing every day, where there's involvement of AI now and all that. So to keep up with the technology is kind of a bit of a challenge that we've noted as this keeping up with the technology trends or keeping up with the AI trends is kind of a challenge. But of course, how do we make sure that we are keeping up with standards? We make sure that we look at the trends, we look at the current trends as well as the news, as well as how this engagement between us as publishers, as well as what researchers want. We do emphasize that. And limited integration between platforms and knowledge gaps related to evolving bibliometric systems and time constraints experienced by librarians. I mean, when it comes to this part, I will say the most important thing or the most biggest challenge that we have is limited team or is limited numbers. Because if you will have maybe 3,000 researchers within the institution, and then you have to try, or you try by all means to ensure that all those researchers are profiled, it is really time constraints, but we are trying by all means, as well as the buy-in of these tools and the buy-in of this research visibility and impact. So some of the researchers, they are still reluctant, and then some of them, they are still worried that I'm still an incoming researcher, or I'm still a young researcher. So how do I go about within this thing of profiling? Are you trying to embarrass me because I've only published two articles, and then you're telling me about the metrics, indexes, and all that? So we have to be there. We have to try. We are trying by all means to close that gap by ensuring that we explain this to the researchers, that it's really for your benefit rather than to be afraid or to have a bit of a fear. So understanding these friction points is essential because it allows institutions to redesign services, allocate resources effectively, and improve support systems for researchers. Then we also advise and also highlight that we as librarians can develop more efficient and impactful research visibility services if only we understand, and also we are there to make sure that we understand those challenges that the researchers are experiencing. Moving along to objective number 4, where we are saying this objective focuses on proposing practical recommendations for improving research visibility. The first recommendation involves developing customized toolkits. The first recommendation involves developing customized toolkits as well as resources for researchers. We're not only talking, but not doing anything. We develop the workflows, we develop the quality check tools, we develop a lot of resources that are within the spectrum of the research, as well as within the buy-in of the researchers. So after we understood what researchers needs, so we create things like LibGuides, things like researcher pages, as well as scholarly research pages. So the second recommendation emphasizes integrating library expertise directly into faculty research workflows so that librarians can become embedded partners in research activities. The third recommendation highlights the importance of continuous professional development for librarians, particularly in areas such as data management, bibliometrics, and digital scholarship. We are saying that within the space of the academic world, you don't just sit and only support your researchers, but do also try to develop yourself, develop your skills as well, to ensure that you upkeep with the trends and you upkeep with the new technology that is actually within the industry. So these strategies can strengthen researchers' online presence and improve institutional research performance. Moving along to synthesis. These slides demonstrate how research visibility creates a cycle of institutional growth. Optimized researcher profiles lead to greater online dissemination and increased downloads. Because I'm sure one is asking, why are we doing this whole job? Why do we invest so much time in this researcher visibility and impact? So optimized researcher profiles lead to greater online dissemination and increased downloads. Once the downloads are increased, or increased downloads contribute to higher citation rates, then from there we have a stronger citation, or we believe that we'll have a stronger citation. Performance improves, which is stronger citation, which will improve the institutional ranking and funding opportunities. The more our researchers are visible and their research is disseminated wider, there are high chances that the institution will actually grow in terms of the rankings, as well as this creates a compounding effect where visibility drives impact and impact drives institutional success. The key message here is that library visibility serves as or services are not merely administrative tasks. They are strategic institutional investments that directly contribute to research growth and global competitiveness. And then my closure, or before the closure, we are talking about catalyst academic transform. In conclusion, academic librarians have evolved into strategic partners within research ecosystem by supporting researcher profiling, bibliometric analysis, scholarly communication, and visibility optimization. Librarians contribute directly to citation impact, funding success, and institutional growth. The four research objectives presented in the study provide framework for understanding how libraries can strengthen their role in supporting research visibility. Ultimately, librarians are no longer passive custodians of information. They are catalysts of academic transformation and key contributors to the future of the research globality, also research visibility. Thank you so much. And after the last presentation, we will welcome the questions. Over to you, Nadira Mabina.
Thank you
back
very
to you,
much,
Chair.
colleagues. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. Indeed, you know, the aspects that you shared with us shows or demonstrate the changing role of librarians within the research ecosystem. And you've also mentioned, you know, aspects such as researcher visibility and impact, and also how important it is for librarians to upskill themselves to remain relevant, also due to the fact that our environment is changing on a daily basis as well. And one of the things that, you know, you've also demonstrated is the importance of collaboration, not just collaboration with our stakeholders within our institutions, but collaboration with each other. And we've just witnessed that collaboration between the two colleagues from the Northwest University and University of Stellenbosch Library and Information Service. So colleagues, just briefly, a brief bio of Ms. Twaita. She's a South African information professional and an academic librarian with expertise in information literacy, lifelong learning, and scholarly communication. She also currently serves as a junior librarian, scholarly communication at the Stellenbosch University Library and Information Service. She holds a master's degree in library and information studies and a postgraduate diploma in the LIS field from the University of Cape Town, as well as an honors degree in development studies. So colleagues, I should have actually read her bio earlier on before she engaged us, but nonetheless, yeah, so that you can just have an idea of who our speaker is. Without wasting more time, colleagues, I'm going to hand over to our next speaker, who is Mr. Maropeni Ramabina. He is also a South African professional librarian recognized by SAQA and currently serves as a manager of information services at the Northwest University Library and Information Science Services at the Vanderbilt Park Campus Library. He has extensive experience in academic, legal, and special libraries, having previously worked at the University of Venda, the Constitutional Court Library, and ENCA as an audiovisual archivist. He holds a Master's of Information Studies from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and he's also an active researcher with over 10 peer-reviewed publications. So this is a librarian / author, and also with Mr. Mpikashe, he's also a librarian / author as well, colleagues. Mr. Ramabina has presented at several local and international conferences and currently serves as the chairperson of Organization of South African Law Librarians. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Mr. Ramabina. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you very much. The first two speakers are the research librarians, as you heard.
The card reader on that side on the door for in and out, but not on the turnstile.
Yes, and then yeah, so I said to the two speakers that you need a voice of faculty librarians, and then that's when they invited me to also come and share with you what we as faculty librarians are also doing, maybe differently so to put it. So our presentation there is the evolving role of us faculty librarians at NWU in supporting teaching, learning, research, and community engagement. Let me see if I can. The next slide, the rove and roam strategy. We said to us here at NWU that our faculty librarians should be closer to their faculties and actively participate in faculty activities. Our librarians here at the Northwest University, they do weekly visits to their faculties. Every Wednesday, we have dedicated T-shirts, written faculty support that our faculty librarian put on when they visit their faculties. And then from the director side of the library, the plan is that we want our librarians to have offices in their faculties. Because currently now we have this library, the main library now where we are, and then the Faculty of Law is there, some maybe 500 meters away from our building. So we are saying the Faculty of Law, the Faculty of EMS, the Faculty of Humanities Education, please, if you have a space or an office that you can give to your faculty librarian, please do that, so that your faculty librarian must leave the library building and be based there in the faculty where you are. And here again, we are also saying our faculty librarians must attend graduation ceremonies to strengthen relationship and visibility. As you can see on the picture here, our two faculty librarians attended a graduation service, a graduation ceremony for their students recently. Library services at student residences. We are saying, let's extend library services and training to student residences. Our students here, they have excellent student residences. The facilities there, in terms of the hall that they have, the computer lab, the presentation facilities they have. So we, as faculty librarians, we conduct evening and weekend visits to these student residences, where we provide after-hours academic and information support as faculty librarians. And then our colleagues who participate in this, our librarians who participate in this, they are able to claim the afternoon or morning offs, meaning if Marupeni goes to that faculty, to that residence for an evening service, because remember, we can only do this in the evening with students because during the day they are on campus. So extending the service, meaning we must go to them in the evenings around 6, 7 p.m. or weekends on Saturday morning or during the day or Sunday. When you do that, so our colleagues are able to claim in the morning or afternoon off to say, tomorrow I will come around midday because I participated at an event in a student residence in the evening. On the pictures here, on the top picture, that's our service that we have in one of the residences. Remember, this was a Saturday afternoon around 2 p.m. in that residence. And the second picture, it was a Saturday morning around 9, 10 a.m. So we engage with the student leaders at the student residences so that they must be the ones to facilitate these visits. And in fact, the students to say the library is visiting us on this issue. Maybe they're coming to talk to us about training about this database or about this tool that they have, or just about generally about the library services. The Uber delivery of books, our users of today, colleagues, they buy food online, they buy clothes and everything online. And then we said in one of our, I think this was during South African Library Week, where we said, why don't we try this Uber delivery of books? Where we can initiate something and then we create a link. We say the users, students, please, if there's a book that you need from the library, go to this link, give us the title of the book and the author and everything. Tell us where you are, either on campus or the student residences, maybe those which are not maybe more than 5 kilometers outside campus, will come and deliver the books to you. We did that. The pictures that you can see here on the top left, that was our colleagues. They were going to deliver books to students on campus, for those who are staying at the residences which are on campus, using the university card. The second picture, it was our academic. We were very shocked. We were actually expecting only students to make use of this. But then we also had academics who say, you know what, there's this book, it's only available on print and it's only, and I wanted to use it. I've been wanting to come to the library for the past 2-3 weeks, but I did not have time to do that. And then when I saw on the website, your guy saying we can now request for these books and then you can deliver to my office. Let me make use of this. So we went to his office to deliver that book. And then on the top right, we delivered to one of the student residences outside campus. Because you cannot go outside campus with the gold card, this university car here, this small car here. So some of our colleagues even offer to use their own cars for us to do deliveries outside campus in that radius of about 5 kilometers or so. Similarly, we also had this. The statistics were very amazing for us. We're very surprised. Pop-up libraries. This again was South African Library Week celebration this year. Pop-up library services. The print collection that we have. Let's choose one faculty. This year, we chose Economic and Management Sciences. Let's look at the recent books on EMS, titles. Let's go and have a display at the EMS. The top picture that you can see here, top left, it was us at the EMS faculty, where we went with their collection. We took almost 80 books or so, print books, titles there, because we'll go there with our laptop and everything that we need, so that if a user wants to borrow these books, they must be able to do that right away. And from those 80 books that we took, I think we went back home after 2 or 3 hours now with less than 20 books. The rest were gone. Because it was like, these are the books that I really wanted, but for me to take this long walk to the library to come and borrow it, it was not working. The second picture from the left, we went to a student residence. I remember this. It was an evening session around 6 p.m. when we went to this student residence. We spent less than an hour here. The moment we just arrived there with the collection ready to issue these books, within 20 minutes or so, all those books were gone. The students, they borrowed all those books. We took our stuff, we went back home. The third picture, it was another student residence that we visited again with the collection. It was a Saturday morning between 10 and 11 in the morning. Again, the display to say we've brought these books. Generally, when we go to the student residences now, it will be the general collection or the leisure reading that we take. Even the users will be coming to us to say, I've been having this library fine. I wanted to inquire about it, or I wanted to pay for it, or I wanted to do this and that. So it will be library service has come to residence. The last picture, that was my favorite because we went to student cafeteria. We know all students between 12 and 2, they are at the student cafeteria lunchtime. So we went to have our display there with our leisure collection and everything. Amazingly, again, within 40 minutes or 30 minutes, the books were gone. The students were there. There were long queues now. Everyone was saying the library is here at the cafeteria. We were happy with that. The colleagues also spoke about that. Even our chairperson, Gina, spoke about this. Very important, the collaboration between the faculty, librarians, us, and the research librarians, the two colleagues who presented before, where we promote teamwork between the two, where sometimes we even do trainings together, the faculty librarians and the research librarians, where we jointly provide these services together. Very, very important for us to take this service to our users. Knowledge sharing sessions. We say as faculty librarians, let's have this. There's so much knowledge now. We find that a colleague now is very good in this tool, or the colleague in terms of maybe service delivery, this is how he or she does service, something that we can see, no, that this is working. Share best practice, tools, innovations. At the Northwest University, we have quarterly knowledge sharing sessions amongst librarians, which include both the faculty librarians and our research librarians. We say, let's meet, let's share best practices, tools, innovations. Let's learn from each other. It works perfect. And then again, as faculty librarians, colleagues, we're talking about the ethical use of AI training. For us, mostly as faculty librarians, our training will tell you about information literacy training. We'll tell you about referencing. If you're a law student, we'll also tell you about searching for information, the case law and legislation for law students. And now we are saying as faculty librarians, our rules must change now to say, let's include the ethical use of AI training. Our students are using these tools day and out. There are so many tools available there, and they are using these tools every day. But the story was that, what are we as faculty librarians doing? Are we making use of these AI tools so that we can understand how they work? We are saying, let's integrate ethical use of AI tools into information literacy programs, which we have done here. To say now there'll be a session where the faculty librarian will say, today we are going to talk about the ethical use of AI. That's the focus of our training. And this is easy for us as faculty librarians at NWU because the institution has developed the AI, the guidelines on the use of AI, guidelines on the ethical use of AI. This was 2 years ago, and then the institution also developed the policy on the use of AI last year. So those tools that we have are assisting us now when we are having this session with the users on the ethical use of AI. So if you are faculty librarians, maybe you don't have these guidelines or policies at your institution, maybe you can start initiating them. And then we are saying librarians should actively use these AI tools to provide informed support. Why are we saying this? Because the students, after making use of this AI, if they get any problems, something that they don't understand, or maybe the plagiarism detection tools will be saying something, they run back to us as librarians. So they start out there without us. The moment they encounter problems, they come to us. So if they come to Maropeni now, Maropeni does not even know what ChatGPT is or how it works, or Claude, or Research, or Microsoft Copilot. These AI tools, how do they work? Maropeni as a faculty librarian get to interact now with these tools so that you can see how they work. You can know how they work so that tomorrow when these users are coming to you or when you go to these users, like my colleague said, Songezo, because we can no longer sit in our offices saying we are waiting for our users to come to us. We need to also go to where the users are. At least you have an idea when they come to you. On the right side here, colleagues, just a screenshot of our NW guidelines on the ethical use of AI, where the institution is saying transparency to the users, declare your use of AI and keep track of it. The institution is saying honesty. You should be honest about the use of AI. You need to follow the rules and guidelines given by the lecturer or the supervisor. Yeah, number 4, they said you cannot blame AI if something is false or biased or inappropriate. And then lastly, the guideline is saying proper citations and recognition of the use of AI are needed. These are the guidelines that the university has developed, and these guidelines are assisting us as faculty librarians when we are having a session with our users on the ethical use of AI. Again, we are saying maybe as librarians, we can also act as educators. Here at Northwest University, we participated in a project of developing the information literacy courses, which will be available online soon. So this will be the faculty librarians. We had an outside agent doing the project for us, but as faculty librarians, when we are there involved to say in our course, this is what we need. We need to cover this. We need to cover this part. We need to put these kind of questions on that on that online literacy course. And then one of our courses, which our students are doing, academic literacy, is now even credit bearing, offered by us as faculty librarians. So we are seeing our roles, they are also changing now to becoming educators. Mentorship and capacity building, colleagues, we say as faculty librarians, are we still going to continue running this show of training our users on the use of information from the library alone when we have our assistant librarians, when we have our library assistant? Here at the Northwest University, we said, let's mentor assistant librarian and library assistant. Marupen is a faculty librarian for law. When you go to class, get 1 or 2 colleagues who say the library assistant or assistant librarian. You are now a mentor of that person. When you are now busy with your collection development, when you are now offering training in the faculty, so that they must see how you are doing it, so that tomorrow it must be easy for you to say, assistant librarian or library assistant, I think you are ready now. Today, maybe you can do the training on the catalog training or something, so that they must now also get used to this work of us now as assistant, as faculty librarians. We are saying we provide training sessions and collection development support. And this encourages professional growth and succession planning. The picture on the right that you can see is one of our library assistants. Soon after she was mentored on this program. And then this time now she was saying, I'm ready now to offer training, the catalog training and database training to the students. I'm very much happy about that as faculty librarians. Benchmarking and international collaboration. Our chairperson also spoke about the issue of collaboration today, colleagues, to say you cannot be a library existing today or an academic librarian working alone. I think Songes in his presentation is talking about isolated librarian or something. We cannot work alone, colleagues. Now we need that collaboration. We need that partnership. So we are also saying benchmarking and international collaboration is important. Let's benchmark with both the local and international institutions. We at NWU as faculty librarians, we collaborated with UJ last year, where we had faculty librarians from UJ meeting with the faculty librarians from NWU, sharing best practice. How do you do this? How do you do that? We also had a colleague from CUT, Central University of Technology, presenting to the librarians at the Northwest University on one of the tools that she's using. Similarly, also we had our faculty librarian from NWU presenting to the CUT team last year. This is how I'm doing this and that. And then the British University of Egypt, there was a conference somewhere in Egypt, and then one of our colleagues met the colleagues from Egypt, and then we decided to say we need to collaborate with this institution. And then we had collaboration on information. This was on library orientation, where we had a session between the 2 institutions, British University in Egypt and the Northwest University librarians. We got together. We had a colleague from Egypt sharing on how they do library orientation. And then we had also a presentation from a faculty librarian from NWU. This is how we do faculty This is how we do library orientation. And then we also had a session on information literacy with a colleague from University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. This was this year in February. Again, a colleague met her in one of the conferences, I think in China last year. Already that person presented to us at the Northwest University about on information literacy. Conference attendance and presentations. You're saying faculty librarians, we need to move into this area of conference attendance. We need to move into this area of conference presentations. Encourage librarians to attend and present at conferences. So many conferences that we have. And then this promote visibility and professional networking. The picture on the left, it was the colleagues from the Northwest University who attended a conference internationally. Research and article publication again. Yes, librarian publishing. This is the challenge that we have. We are being challenged every day when we go for conferences and webinars. This is the reminder. They always challenge us. Librarian, are you publishing? At the University of Venda, they say one professor there will come to the library and say, guys, you as librarians, you are sitting on gold in terms of publication, in terms of publishing, because you are sitting with data here. He says, when I look at your library, I'm already seeing 20 articles that I can write. Are you making use of this information as librarians? Are we publishing? So we are saying we need to encourage our librarians to co-publish research articles, because it's part of that mentorship again. Maybe some of us have never published before, but if Mr. Mpikashe has published before, partnering with him so that we can produce 1 or 2 papers, and then after that, Maropen can be able to move along. And then we are saying libraries, we generate valuable research data, and then this positions us, librarians, as active researchers and also as scholars. The pictures here on the left, it was the librarians participating.
Mr. Ramavina, 2 minutes left.
Thank you. What we participated in, we call it a science show project, where some of the librarians from NWU work together with the community. And then from that, there have been several publications available online. In conclusion, colleagues, we are saying also as faculty librarians, we play a critical evolving role here at NWU. We are saying there's collaboration, innovation, mentorship, and research which strengthen library impact. And we are saying a proactive and a visible librarian. They enhance teaching, learning, research, and community engagement. Thank you very much, Chair and colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Ramabina, for sharing some of the practices that the NWLIS is engaged on. And colleagues, from there, you can also see the power of collaboration. As Mr. Ramabina has indicated, that there is a link between the research and faculty librarians, because you know, as Mr. Mpikashe said, and Ms. Twaya in their presentation, they can't work in silos as you know, individuals that are supporting the research cycle. So they need to work with other stakeholders to push this research agenda as well. And also in terms of being embedded in spaces where our users are, that is also critical, colleagues. This can be in a form of being physically embedded within the spaces, and also embedding ourselves virtually in spaces where our stakeholders are. And as the saying goes, that if Muhammad will not go to the mountain will go to Muhammad. So this is the strategy that is being, you know, employed in various institutions, where relationships are being forged on a daily basis to ensure that we bridge the gap between ourselves as librarians and also the stakeholders that we serve within our institutions as well. Colleagues, this is your opportunity to engage with the speakers. We have sufficient time for this. There's been I've been noting some of the activities on the chat. There's quite a lot of questions and also comments as well. But this is also your opportunity, colleagues, to just, directly engage with our speakers based on what they have shared with us, the roles that they are playing within their institutions. And you can also see how the roles of librarians are also evolving on a daily basis based on the changing needs of our users as well, and also upskilling ourselves, sharing skills and knowledge. And this is what we are doing also this afternoon. And we believe that, when we go back to our respective spaces, we are going to implement one or two of the initiatives that have been shared with us here. So colleagues, the time is yours. You are more than welcome to raise your hand. I'm not sure if this will be possible. Apelele? Apelele, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Are they able to unmute themselves?
Yes.
Okay. Colleagues, you are more than welcome to raise your hand and unmute yourself to ask your questions. While I'm waiting for the hands, I'm just going to check on the chats if there are any other questions. I see there's a question from Ms. Mofana to Mr. Ramabina. What inspired you with this amazing initiatives to take the library collection to the students and lecturers? Mr. Ramabina, this is directed to you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it was just a talk, colleagues, from amongst the librarians here with our directors, where we sit down, we say, let's get together, let's put our heads together. What can we do differently? We are seeing that the circulation collection statistics are going down, Is it because maybe they do not want print books anymore? What if we try to say maybe we take the books to you, to the faculties or to the wherever the students are? Just from there, we just decided to do that, and then we were very surprised. We were very surprised. And then when we got there, that's when we found out, especially from the academic side, to say, sometimes I'll be interested in this print book, but taking this 1 kilometer or half a kilometer walk to your library, sometimes it's a lot of work, or I don't even have time to do that. So if you do bring a book now to me, now I'll be able to take it. So I think as librarians, having this sessions where we can just discuss as librarians, these meetings over tea or coffee, we just bring those ideas together and take it forward. It works. Thank you.
Thanks for that. I can't see any hands though, colleagues. I just have a question for our two colleagues, Ms. Twaita and Mr. Bikashi. As you continue to provide a service to the researchers, and we are quite well aware that, researchers are quite busy individuals, also getting access to these individuals to support them, especially in terms of assisting them to ensure that their researcher profiles are up to date. You really need to convince them and ensure and convince them to also allocate time, because I think it can also be time consuming updating those profiles, because it's not something that you can do on their behalf. So how do you navigate those challenges, time constraints and also accessibility challenges to these, having access to these scholars?
All right, thank you so much, Chair. My counterpart is actually, let me first give it.
Okay, please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. You can, after me, you can also go on, Mr. Bekasha, because I'll be talking from a previous experience of how we, I would say, caught them in a way. We had, on my previous role, we had something called lecturers' tea. It's basically a meeting where not a meeting, gathering, we used it to inform them about the new services in the library and all of that. So it was a time allocated for that. It was a thing that all the library hosts a lecturers' tea. So it's a time they know that it's for doing things that are associated with the library, anything that's new, any new trends. So we use that time to teach these things. Something I did in my case to make it for ORCID and other researcher profiles. So it's maybe something that can be embedded in the library to say, we have this event, maybe if we can call it like that, a year, where we get to kind of try to make sure that our researchers are up to speed. Of course, their availability still won't be the same, but then also another one is one-on-one consultations. Some of them will be based on need, but then of course we need to proactively be there. I was once in a lucky position where I had direct access to the researchers. It was so open that you could just pop in and say, "Hi, do you have 2 minutes? I want to show you this," or "Here's a link to this. Browse if you want more information. Please come back to me." It's a service that I offer. We can try to find those water tank conversations in between, but then over to you, Mr. Mpikashe.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Treta. Thank you, Chair. Look, I'll be honest with you, it's not an easy journey, but it's doable. Doable in which manner? It's doable in a manner that you target those writing retreat where we only talk about the research, or where we talk about that how do we write, where do we write, and all those. So when you get a space, or when we get to those writing retreats, we do present our services, and we do also highlight the importance of these services. And then also you have to be strategic with the researchers. Strategic in which manner? We all know that everyone wants funding, but we delay in making sure that we are preparing ourselves towards that part or that time of funding. We also know that everyone or every researcher wants to be promoted and be those B researchers, A researchers, and all that. So we do unpack within those spaces, or within those forums, we do unpack the possibilities of reaching to that level through these profilings. So the interest grows from that kind of a spectrum, or that kind of a way of doing things. And then the other thing that we usually do, we actually partnering with research office, as well as we partnering with strategic office, where we've tabled our proposal, as well as we've made sure that our proposal of this project is known to the Office of the DVC Research Support. And then we partner with them in a way that we got the access to the database of the university to avoid the POPIA Act. We were granted access to the list of the all researchers of NW, so we can engage with the researchers directly. Because what we've noted sometimes is you do send those emails to the faculty officers. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it happens that you send those things, or those target reports, or those target trainings to the faculty officers or faculty administrators, and then they don't get to the researchers. But when we're directly sending those emails with the resources, the tools, the links within these spaces, then you get to get a response from the researchers, because you do explain what is happening, and then you do also highlight the importance of these services. Thank you, Chair. I can talk up until. Thank you.
Yes, I can hear that. Thank you so much. So basically, it boils down to embedded librarianship, embedding ourselves in spaces where our users are, and also, creating those channels and spaces where we can, come together to engage, to entice these users with services that they might not be aware of as well. Just a quick one, in the absence, okay, I see there's a chat. I'm not sure if there's any further questions here. Colleagues, if the speakers, if you can also share your contact details on the chats. There are some colleagues that are asking to engage with you further beyond this platform. So if you can just help with sharing your contact details, if you don't mind. There's also another question for Mr. Ramabina. Can you please elaborate on the information literacy program that you mentioned? How is it offered? How many modules, and how do you monitor it in terms of attendance? Is it compulsory to all students as well? That's a question directed to you, Mr. Ramabina.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, academic literacy is those compulsory modules for first year students that all of them are doing. And we are offering the trainings in collaboration with their lecturers. But what we, maybe it will change in the future, we prepare the assessment as faculty librarians, and then we give it to the academics. So after the trainings, the students are going to write an assessment, and then the marking, maybe so to say, will be done by the academics. And then what we are busy communicating with our academics going forward is that maybe if we can also be allowed to say when we give that assessment, because we give them the assessment and the memorandum, maybe we must be the ones to do the assessing and giving the marks and everything, and then providing the results or the marks to the lecturers going forward. That is our plan going forward. So for now, yes, it is a compulsory module for the students. They just come and attend, we prepare the assessment, and the memorandum we give it to the academics, and then the academics do the rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramabina. I still do not see any hand. Okay, there's one. Ponto, please go ahead, Ponto.
Good afternoon, colleagues. This question is directed to Mr. Ramabina. Even with the question that just came now, outside of the information literacy courses that you offer to first year students, are there any other trainings that you offer first year students, seeing that they are the majority of students in our institutions? And I say this because I've noticed that a lot of these trainings are offered to postgraduate students. And unfortunately, it becomes then a daunting conversation and a daunting decision to make with regards to young researchers deciding whether or not to do their postgraduates. So are we offering, for instance, with tools like EndNote, for the most part, postgraduate students are approached, and during orientation week, they're assisted with the technical side of EndNote, and that's installing the tool on their PCs. Is there a strategy, seeing how very detailed you are, even with your presentation, even as you approach these students, is there a way in which you divide them, or is it just a collective thing? I hope my question makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Poncho. How we divide them, I'm not sure if I understand, but from the engagement that we had when we went to students, the undergraduate students at the student residences in one of the evening or weekend sessions, we're very surprised when they are the ones who said, we see in your library, in our library here, we have a robot. In our library here, we have something called a self-check machine. But you guys are not training us on how those work. So sometimes when we just go there, we just see this thing in front of you, we are even afraid to approach it. But we are aware, and we heard that you're going to launch these things, and then maybe we did not attend the session. But maybe as the library going forward, arrange training for us to say this will be the training on how you can interact with this robot. This is the training on how the self-check machine works. We're very surprised and really happy to note that comment down. For postgraduate students, I think that partnership again between the faculty librarians and the research librarians is coming into the picture. I think originally what we were saying was that faculty librarians will be the ones to offer training to postgraduate students on the use of EndNote. But then in terms of maybe what capacity, we only have 3. I think if I'm not wrong, Mr. Mbikacha will correct. I think we only have 3 research librarians at NWU,
Yes.
1 per campus. So for 20,000 or 40,000 students, can they do that? That's when we said librarians, faculty librarians and research librarians partner together and see how we can assist each other in terms of offering this training to our postgraduate students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I see there might be something on the chat. Mr. Ram, I mean, I think this one is still for you. But before that, I also have a question from our 2 colleagues. Also in terms of, supporting the evolving supporting the evolving research landscape, Mr. Mpikashe and Ms. Kwaita, how, though librarians are increasingly becoming active partners across the research cycle, the role that you've just shared with us this afternoon, our services are also starting to intersect with those traditionally offered by the research offices within our institutions. And can you just briefly, share how we should draw the line to ensure that, there's meaningful collaboration without overstepping institutional roles? Because sometimes you'd find that there might be services similar offered from our research offices, and these might be emerging services that we're trying to develop within our library services. How do we draw that line not to overstep, but collaborate meaningfully, and ensuring that, we don't overstep our institutional roles, mandates, or even our professional capabilities as librarians?
All right. Thank you, Chair. Let me chip in. Firstly, we are fortunate because we are under one office with the research office, as in we are reporting to one what do you call it? We are reporting to the same DVC. So how do we go about? We have what we call DOPs, departmental operational plans, which also leads to the library operational plans. So from there, we make sure that how we don't overstep is during the beginning of the year, we look at each other's DOPs, as well as we plan, for example, now as we speak, the induction of the MNDs is usually planned the previous year for the following year. So we are featured or we are approached by the research office, if not by the research office, higher degrees, depending on which office will be delivering those services. We are approached, and then after we are approached, the agenda is tabled, or the plan is tabled, or what do you call it, the program is tabled, and then from there, how we actually agree how do we ensure that, or how do we present, or how are we planning to deliver the services for the following year to make sure that the services that we are delivering are not repeatable, as well as we've got a good relationship with the strategic office where we also look at their programs. So what I'm trying to say is we look at each other's programs and then we feature accordingly, and then we ensure that where they fall short, we come in. Where we fall short, they come in. Even with the events that we're doing or we're preparing for our postgraduates as well as our researchers. So basically, it's more of the strategic partnership as well as the collaboration within the LIS as well as outside the LIS within the research office and the other entities or departments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. So basically also, relationship building is important in this instance as well. So colleagues, any further questions for our speakers? We have a few minutes left before the end of our session. Please go ahead, Ntabiseng.
Good afternoon, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to add to what Dr. Ramadhan said with regards to how we choose the content that we deliver to students. we are aware that first years are still very vulnerable in terms of
Mentabi,
Hello.
there's an echo. I'm not sure if it's on my side but yeah, it's better now.
Okay, I just wanted to add to what Dr. Ramabina said in terms of the content that we deliver to students. We all know that first years are very vulnerable in terms of the information that they can take up. So in the first year, we don't give them so much that they can chew. We only give them the basics. And also our trainings are ongoing because we're required to train like 50% of our university community. So now we divide them in terms of the first years, we'll just give them the basics. The second year, we also look at what is it that they're doing, what do they need, and then we proceed with that as well, up until maybe honors where we now add in other things like your end notes and whatever. But we first start with the basics. What are the library services? How can you get books into the library? What are our opening and closing times and whatever, and just basics on how to get information on the databases. Second year, we continue with the databases. Now we're getting in depth. So it increases with the knowledge that they can take with, again, in relation to the year of study that they end, because our trainings are ongoing. They don't just end at first year, then we'll meet them as postgrads. Every level has got its own training. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So basically how information is packaged and also how training is conducted, it's developed in a way that it targets various user groups within the library. Colleagues, any further questions or comments for our speakers? You are more than welcome to unmute yourselves.
Because no one is talking.
Okay.
Okay, and again, there was a question where another participant was asking about what inspired us to go to the students. We realized during our trainings that students would not come to our trainings. That's a challenge that we're having. So we had to come up with ways on how we can get them to attend our trainings. So we saw it fit that if we go to them, they get excited and they get to attend our trainings. So everything that we do now is now inspired by the fact that we know when we go to them, they will attend. We know they will participate. So that is what inspires the whole thing of us now going to them in their respective residences. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So basically, they also relied on, data insights, the statistics that were dropping, that they witnessed during these information literacy training sessions that were arranged by the library as well, and also looking at the constant requests from the users. As a librarian, you can tell if if there are any gaps in knowledge among some of our users based on the same inquiries or the type of inquiries that we receive on a daily basis. So that can also guide us as well. So colleagues, 3 minutes left. I see there's still there's another hand from Ponto. Is this a legacy hand, Ponto, or you have another question?
No, I just wanted to direct the question to Mantabise. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, so this is a question to Mantabise. And this is regards to the point of your undergraduate students. The reason why I asked that question was because, again, the majority of students that we have in our universities are undergraduate students. And I asked about the tools, for instance, EndNote, because like you said, Mam Tabi, saying they are vulnerable, but in the same breath, their brains are willing to absorb anything because they know and understand very well that they've migrated from high school to university, and there's a way of writing in university. So why not introduce things like your EndNote before they're exposed to your chat GPTs, or because essentially they're willing, and like Mr. like Mr. Ramavina had indicated, that they were shocked to learn that these undergraduate students, were highlighting things that they didn't even think, undergraduate students would see and be interested in. These students are excited. They want to learn as much as they can. And I think that in order for us to avoid them, ending up using your chat GPTs and just anything on the internet, why not introduce them to hardcore tools such as EndNote? Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. We engage with these users on a daily basis, and we can see also, we can spot the trends as well as librarian, to ensure that when we initiate projects or programs, those are actually programs that are targeting the needs of users. Colleagues, we have unfortunately come to the end of session. And as we conclude this webinar, I would also like to extend our appreciation to all speakers, Mr. Songezon Pikashe, Ms. Kwaika from the University of Stellenbosch University, and also our colleague, Mr. Ramabina, as well, for sharing such, informative insights with us. This also echoes the valuable, perspectives on strategic role of academic librarians in advancing institutional research. I would also like to thank all the participants for your engagements and contributions. I'd also like to extend appreciation to the Liasa Academic and Research Library committee members for the support as well, and also constant recommendations for sessions similar to this one. Colleagues, I'm not sure if you have seen the invite. We will be having a session on science communication. It also relates to one of the areas that have been shared with us, which basically supports the research visibility and impact. The speaker that we're going to have is a science communication specialist who is also a journalist as well. So they'll be engaging us on the importance of science communication, and also how we as librarians, we can actually encourage and also raise awareness of science communication within our respective institutions. And colleagues, as we are celebrating Africa Month, I would also like to conclude and leave you with an African proverb that resonates with the discussion of today, which says, wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it alone. So may this remind us that advancing research excellence within our institution requires collaboration, shared knowledge, and also strategic partnership. And with librarians like ourselves continuing to play a meaningful role within the research ecosystem. Thank you so much, colleagues, for joining us once again, and do have a blessed day further. Goodbye.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, colleagues. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.